Hello and welcome to the Feminine Millionaire Show. I'm your host, Polly Alexander. I'm a success coach, healer, creative, and future millionaire. If creating money and success in a spiritual and feminine and joyful way is your goal, this show is for you. Let's all rise together. Hello and welcome to episode 93. How I worked 10 days of the month and had a $42,906 month. So, there are so many stories in society that tell us we have to choose between time and money. And this was my reality for many years. Either I had money but no time to spend it, or I had plenty of time but not the full resources or money I wanted to make the most of that time. And so I would pivot from pole to pole, from having time but not money, and then money but not time. And it became my mission to find this holy grail of how do I have both time and money? How do I live in true abundance of freedom of time and energy to invest as I choose, and the financial resources to live the fullest experience of life? So I've had big months in my business before, and this wasn't the biggest month I've had by a long stretch. But what was so significant about this month was that I only worked 10 days of the month. And I'm going to tell you how I got to this point today, and also how my clients are at this point or well on the way to this point too. Because the truth is, none of us want to spend our whole lives working really hard, missing out on the richness, the fullness of life, on other areas of our life in order to hit financial goals or create success. The modern woman wants a fulfilled and balanced experience of life. We want to feel lit up by all the different areas of our life and to have the time and energy to experience them all. So I truly believe that times are changing, and we are committed to moving out of this place of sacrifice that was society's story and our family's story and even our story for so long. And so if this resonates with you and you are committed to moving out of struggle and sacrifice in any area of your life and into the fullest, richest experience that you're here to have, then this episode is for you and you're in the right place. So let's dive in more deeply. So I am talking about January 2023, so last month. And if you're a regular listener, you'll know I made the decision to take off the first 2 weeks of the year on holiday. And I made this a whole year before. And in fact, I've done it again. I've made the decision to take off the first 2 weeks of 2024. And I'm committed and I'm in, and that's going to be my new reality. Simply from a decision. So I was on holiday in Colombia for the first 2 weeks of the month. I then came back, and week 3 I was really jet lagged. So I didn't start work until 3 p.m. And I did half days whilst I was recovering from jet lag. So maybe working 3 till 7 or 3 till 8 that week. And then week 4 was what I would call a normal week, which for me means starting about 11, running to 6 or 7. That's the rhythm that works for me. And what's so exciting about this month is that I wasn't in launch. I didn't have a big team. It wasn't hard. I didn't push or struggle. In fact, I worked a lot less than usual. And at the end of the month, I had made cash in the business $42,906. cash. Yeah, not contracts, actual income into the business. So I'm going to break down how I did that and some of the things that have enabled me to get to this place where I have both time and money, where I am creating a business that has a huge impact on the lives of others, that is deeply fulfilling and rewarding for me, that is purpose-driven and generates excellent revenue. So the way I made this money was through payment plans for my Thrive Beautifully Mastermind. So when you join, you have an option of spreading the cost over 12 months. And I have a number of people on payment plans, so I have that consistent revenue coming in every month. I made it through existing client renewals, which I'm going to talk more deeply about today. But quite simply, my clients renew in my programs because they get results and a return on investment. And the experience is so valuable that they want to come back again. And this has happened right since the beginning for me. In the beginning, it was just one-to-one coaching for the first 3 years. And again, some clients would renew. And then when I launched Money Beautifully, which was a course, a program designed for people to take once, something crazy started happening. And people started taking it again and again and again. And in fact, that's how Thrive Beautifully, my mastermind, was born, because people kept saying, what do I do next? So I created something around what they needed. And Thrive Beautifully, my mastermind, we now have many renewals, or we have people coming back who got what they needed, went away, grew in other ways, and then decided to come back for another round. And then the fourth way I generated revenue in January was through product sales of my Abundance Accelerator products. So welcome anybody that's new to my community who stepped into that offer. I do send special offers to my community who are on my email list only. You won't see these in other places. There was a special offer that went out in January. If you want to get on my list, sign up with my Money Magnet Toolkit or my Success Meditation, and you'll be on my list to see any special offers I have and to be the first to know about new offerings. So I've talked about how the money came in. Let's just recap on that. So it came in through payment plans for my mastermind. It came in through product sales, and it came in through renewals in my mastermind and private coaching. So there's 5 keys I'm going to share with you today that helped make this happen. I really tuned in. I'm like, what can I share with you guys? Because I know this is possible for you too. If you're listening here now and you're like, oh my God, that would totally be my dream to have a 40 or 50K month and be on holiday and take lots of time off and not overwork. Oh my gosh, yes, Polly, show me how that can happen. I'm going to dive in today in this episode to give you a taste of some of the things I did to make this happen. And it's created over time, okay? This doesn't happen overnight. This type of business, it is built over time. So the first thing that's key to making it happen is momentum. The second is a program lineup. The third is results. That's the reason people renew with me, is results. Number 4 is fun. And number 5 is feminine energy. So let's talk a little bit more about each of those. And I do create containers to go more deeply around this. This is what I teach. This is what I coach on. This is what I help people do. But today I'm going to give you a taste of it in the time we have available. So grab your journal. So the first thing I did was create momentum in my business. These numbers and what I've shared with you are a result of momentum in my business, and that is consistently delivering results to my clients. It's building a business and creating programs and ways of delivering my services that deliver results. It's about constantly improving my craft and learning about marketing, learning about business, and about how to grow my mindset. This is a living, breathing entity, my business. It's always evolving and I'm always investing in it. So this momentum was a result of consistently working on my belief system, my mindset, my marketing, and taking action. Okay, the second thing, program lineup. So I've created a suite of ways for people to work with me, from self-study, like my Abundance Accelerator, to a mastermind and group programs where you take a journey with a group of other like-minded people, up to my highest level of support, one-to-one, where I personally mentor, coach, do healing with you every week, and you have direct Voxer access to me. So it's like I'm on the board of your business, really, on the board of your transformation. Now, these product lineup has got different channels of cash flow and also different renewal times and different launch times. So I'm able to stagger these programs, and I have people who are due for renewal at different points during the year. I have the opportunity to do different launches to generate revenue, and people also ascend through my product range. In fact, I'm going to talk about one of my clients a bit later, but Hannah started off with Money Beautifully, my program for clearing your money blocks. I think she took that maybe 3 years ago. She said that I had been on her vision board and she'd been wanting to work with me for ages, but she couldn't get her head around the investment level. And at that time, I think it was about £1,000. But she later told me, although she had the means, she didn't have the mindset to make an investment at that level. But she worked on getting there. She made the investment. She then went on to do a year in Thrive Beautifully. And then she went on to do one-to-one with me. And she's just renewed again to do one-to-one with the goal of taking her business to 500,000 plus. I think she's going to smash that goal, to be honest, this year. So you can see how the product lineup I've created helps people move through the different stages of their business and mindset and growth. Okay, number 3, this is the most important thing for all of you running a service-based business. And it doesn't matter what kind of service you deliver, but it's results. My clients get results. And what's going to make you successful is when your clients get results and you share them. You share them and you gather testimonials and you share them with people who are thinking about working with you. It helps others see what's possible. But the results are why I had such a strong month of renewals. I'm going to share a few here. So Polly has renewed 3 times in my Thrive Beautifully Mastermind. She's just beginning her 3rd round. Welcome back, Polly. And when she came to me, actually after taking Money Beautifully, her business had totally dried up during the pandemic. It was a hat business and nobody was buying hats. No one was attending events. I helped Polly turn around her business. And during the time we've worked together, she's launched 2 new businesses, an event business and a product line. She now has her own line of teas. And now she does Teas with Polly events all over the country. She's also revitalized her hat business and just reported her revenue is up 4 times year on year. She's making more, doing less. Juliet is a photographer. She's also renewing for her 3rd time in Thrive. And she actually took the whole month of January off work in Africa. So if you think that what I shared with you, taking 2 weeks off and my 40K, if you think that's good, well, Juliet actually spent the entire month of January traveling around Africa on the most incredible adventures and safaris. She had a 5-figure US dollar month anyway, despite barely being on email and not being at a desk for even one day. She had a 5-figure US dollar month in new contracts. She set up some incredible commissions, and she's just about to bring her wisdom to other photographers in an online course. And if you're a photographer that wants to earn epic money and have epic adventures, Juliet is going to be the one to learn from. I can't wait for her to launch her course. And then I mentioned Hannah earlier. I actually interviewed Hannah in episode 70, from 130 euros an hour to a 97,000 euro month. She did that when she was in my Thrive Beautifully mastermind. I recommend listening to that episode where she talks frankly about what it took behind the scenes. And Hannah has worked with me, I think she's on her 4th renewal now, if I count correctly. I find it hard to keep track. And then we have Gul, who I think is also on her 4th, maybe 5th renewal with me. Maybe my longest standing client. I interview Gul in episode 74, from healing herself to healing others. Gul was in corporate when she first came to work with me. She started her own healing path for herself and has gone on to create and then grow her healing business to a wildly successful online healing practice with a steady stream of clients, including several celebrity clients. She has regular 5-figure months and now does in-person mindfulness workshops for top corporate companies as well. So when you experience results like these, this is momentum for you. This is momentum to keep investing in yourself, like I do, like my clients do. This is what helps us create these epic, crazy, big money months, which are not just happening for me, they're happening for many women in my community as well. And what's really, really important is that every single one of those women I have just told you about takes significant time off work. Hannah took 3 weeks off during her epic year to go tango dancing in Buenos Aires. Gul took a sabbatical to go traveling, unfortunately cut short by the pandemic. She also got married. She also moved countries during this time. Juliet is constantly traveling the world. Polly's taking Fridays off. Polly went on a dream trip to Venice in the autumn, had a fabulous photo shoot there. This is about having it all. This is about allowing yourself to experience your wildest desires and creating epic abundance and impact. This is what I am all about. Which brings me on to number 4, fun. I think we just talked about that. Pleasure, desire. What helped me have this big month was following my desires, was going on holiday, putting myself in an environment I love. In nature for 10 days, I did almost nothing. We barely left the house I was staying in, which was incredibly beautiful. I was in nature, I was meditating, daydreaming, connecting. I enjoyed beautiful food in beautiful places and then went shopping for beautiful things. This filled me up and my heart and soul were leading, not my head. And I truly believe that this contributed towards the energetic state that attracted in this level of clients and cash. I came back from this trip. The day I got back, I immediately booked another trip, literally, from that place of, oh my gosh, I know how good this feels, and I am going to choose to be the woman that plans a fabulous birthday celebration for herself on the other side of the world, and that has friends are willing and able to say yes to joining her. So I was really operating from this place of, yes, I'm going to say yes to me. I don't know where the money's going to come from. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to say yes to me. And that elevated vibration, I truly believe, attracted in the cash and clients. And then the 5th thing I'm going to share with you is that feminine energy. We've touched on this already, but I really believe that taking 2 weeks off, dropping into my feminine energy and getting into that state of allowing, attracting, creating space had a big impact on my ability to receive. During the transition back to work, the third week of January, I didn't push myself. I didn't stress or get worried because we were already in the third week. I spent a lot of time just sitting with my journal, reflecting, asking, what do I desire this year to be about? What's true for me right now? What's showing up in my reality and what's desiring to birth into my reality? And I followed the breadcrumbs. I made that intuitive vision board, which I talked about recently. I got some ideas from that. I followed them one step at a time. And then I made a big commitment in myself. I signed up to a new mastermind with a new mentor. I stepped up my own investment in myself, and I believe that opened the floodgates to others. When we do something for ourselves, we open up a portal, a space where others are aligned with doing it for themselves. So what can very often happen when you make an aligned investment and you have channels open for receiving money is that the money comes back to you. It can happen really fast or it can happen gradually, but it always will. Money likes to flow. It comes to you, through you, and from you. It's not designed to stagnate. It's not supposed to stagnate and just sit in a bank account somewhere. It's supposed to be flowing. My client Hannah, in autumn 2022, she invested $15,000 in one-to-one coaching with me. She didn't need to. She was already wildly successful. She'd had an epic year. But she desired to be supported in this way. And this is the difference. You don't need me, but you may desire to be supported in one of my containers. You may desire to be supported by a coach or a mentor or a healer, some kind of practitioner, because it feels good and it feels easier and it feels more grateful and it opens you and it feels more graceful and it opens you up to new possibilities. So Hannah stepped into this container in, I think it was October last year. And as a result of this container of support she stepped into, with our work together, she went from a 100K launch to a 315K launch. She tripled her launch revenue in 1 month. Now, she chose to set herself up for success and to have support around her energy and her mindset and business because she desired it. And she desired it to be easy, and she knew the difference it would make for her. So if this is you and you're already successful and things are already good, but you desire them to be even better and even easier, and you desire to create from a place of, how could it be better than this? Then my private coaching could be for you. So this week I invite you into playing with this idea about what would it feel like to expand joyfully with more ease, with more spaciousness, with more grace, with more femininity. You get to commit to support from a place that says, ooh, I love this, and I wonder what else is possible. You get to invest in support from a place of more than enough. I have more than enough, I am more than enough. And a place that says, I want to become the woman or man that creates multi-6 or 7-figure business success and lives out my wildest dreams, because deep down, I know that's possible. And if it's possible for you and it's possible for others, I know it's possible for me. And that's where I can be if I choose it. I have one space available for one-to-one coaching. If you are called to explore what could be possible for you, and if I'm the right fit for you, then I invite you to book a discovery call. The link is in the show notes. I hope today has inspired you and opened you up to new possibilities. And I look forward to being with you again next week. For those of you that are curious, I'm working behind the scenes on reopening enrollment for Thrive Beautifully, and I will let you know as soon as it's available. Get on my list to be the first to know. Sending you wild abundance this week. Bye for now.